Hi, this is my Module 3 presentation for EDL 852. My name is Abby Linville, and this is my presentation on leadership style and ethics. As I was reading Mark Murphy's article that describes the different leadership styles, I knew which one I would fall under before taking the quiz, and I was right. I am a steward. I am loyal to those I work with, and I'm always willing to offer support. I am calm in difficult situations and willing to work with people to help find solutions. I'm willing to model lessons and provide support when needed. If I can expect teachers to do it, then I have to be able to do it myself as well. The term rule-oriented seems so stiff to me and unlike me, but it is true. I like to see it not as being rule-oriented, but as having clear expectations, except for I really like to create the expectations with the teacher's input as well. The Murphy article also cited a study that stated that only 29% of employees really know what the expectations for their job are. As an instructional coach, I've heard several times from teachers that they just want to know what those expectations are. They want someone to tell them what the processes are for behavior management in their school. They want to know what a good interactive read aloud lesson looks like or a guided reading lesson. When I worked with teachers to set those expectations, their instruction transformed, and it led to a lot of great, really strong conversations at weekly PLCs. As much as I know I'm a steward, I think there are parts of me that are a diplomat as well. I learned early in my time as a coach that teachers want to have input. As often as I possibly can, I ask for feedback from them. Sometimes that's on things that I'm working on curriculum-wise, and sometimes I ask them for feedback on how I'm supporting them as a coach. What could I do more to support them, and what would they like me to change going forward? I value my relationships with the people I work with greatly, and I do not think you can effectively coach or lead people without having a relationship based on mutual respect built. As a coach, I work with 28 different teachers, and I have learned throughout my time as a coach that I have to adapt to meet each of their individual needs, and that in order to grow my relationship with each teacher, I have to be adaptable to them as well. So I understand that sometimes my leadership style may have to adjust based on the person I am working with. It's kind of like the transformational leadership theory. I want everyone to be their best self, and I want to empower teachers I work with to take risks and to try out new instructional strategies that they might not be comfortable with. So sometimes, in order to help push them, I will have to move out of being a steward or a diplomat and look at some of those other leadership styles that were described in the article as well. After finishing with that article, I took my Leadership Compass self-assessment, and my results told me that I scored high under the West Analytical, and the South, which is the empathy one, I came a close second in. So, when looking at the characteristics that were laid out by the Be the Change Consulting article, I came up with the 5 characteristics that I thought really resonated with me that fell under both the analytical and the empathy sections. So, I am data driven. I like to look at data frequently to see if the practices that are being used in classrooms are effective, if the practices that I am sharing with teachers are effective. I'm extremely self-analytical. I reflect on a regular basis, and I'm always looking for ways to grow as a leader, as a teacher, and I'm just always looking for ways to improve as I grow. I am very practical. I like to do things logically with as minimal disruption as possible. I think small tweaks can be really impactful, so I don't think that you necessarily have to do a big change to make a difference. I am definitely supportive. I want people to feel that they can come to me and that we can work together to help solve problems. I want to be approachable, and I'm dependable. Consistency is important to me, and I think it's essential when building relationships. Some of my weaknesses or drawbacks from these characteristics are that I sometimes struggle to say no and bite off more than I can chew. And sometimes when I'm analyzing something, it can come off as being indecisive as well. The article 7 Leadership Qualities and Characteristics of Good Leaders by Brian Tracy gave a lot of good information. One thing that really stuck out to me was the importance of communication. Not just communicating clearly with your employees, but also with being a good listener. I have worked a lot on this as a coach, and I have worked a lot on being okay to just sit and listen and then take a moment before I respond. Sometimes it can start off being uncomfortable sitting in that like moment of silence while you gather your thoughts, but I have found that it's gone a long way in helping me form my response that's really thoughtful, and it's also helped me build stronger relationships with the teachers I work with. I categorized those 7 qualities that were laid out in the article into my strengths and my weaknesses, or things that I would need to work on going forward. I always have a vision, but sometimes I need to get better at planning to make that vision happen. I'm good at creating short-term goals, but I need to work on setting long-term goals. And I also need to cut back on the overanalyzing that I do and start to take risk. I don't have any problem taking responsibility when needed. I find myself to be a humble person and know that I need to listen to others' ideas and that I can always be working to do better. And my focus on building relationship means I know the importance of being transparent and honest, which are integral to being and having good integrity. In the article, What Makes a Great School Leader by Elena Aguilar, she talks about that one quality of a great leader is being emotionally intelligent and having emotional intelligence, which is the ability to understand and manage your own emotions and recognize um, the emotions of others as well. When I think of what guides my values and ethics when leading, it's this emotional intelligence. I value having compassion for others and value being empathetic towards them and showing respect to all of those around me. My integrity means a lot to me. I do what's right even when it's hard to do so. Being fair and setting clear expectations and boundaries go hand in hand. When you have the boundaries set, it makes it easier to be fair. Last but not least, relationships are the foundation to being successful when leading people. When people can trust you and respect you, it opens the door to have honest conversations. It encourages those that work for you to be risk takers, and it creates a positive work environment. This assignment asked me to reflect on the traits and characteristics I value in myself as a leader, and then asked me to align that with the ethical values and morals that I use in my life. It was relevant to me as an educator because it helped me focus on what type of leader I currently am and what type of leader I want to be in the future, and which traits and characteristics I need to strengthen in order to do that. Going forward, I know I have some skills that I need to improve upon. I need to work on setting some long-term goals when I'm working on strategically planning out a project to work with my teachers on. And I also need to work on taking risk and not over analyzing situations too much. Here are my references that I use for this presentation. Thank you so much for listening.